Hello, thanks for watching Social Work Scrapbook. Today, this is a part 2 for day in the life of a school social worker. Last time I was talking about going into a girls group and co-facilitating and being a guest, and I'm going to show you exactly the group intervention that I used, share some resources that hopefully you can apply to your groups that you're running as well. So stay tuned for more. If you are just tuning in to my channel, let me introduce myself. My name is Lauren. I am a clinical social worker. I work in the school system, and typically you'd find me in a middle school. But today I'm sharing the time that I took a trip into an elementary girls group. I was invited in by the social worker there. Hello guys, it's Wednesday. Let me clean my camera. It's really dirty. It's like muggy and foggy over here. It wants to rain, but it's not raining. And I'm rushing right now, I'm always rushing, to a girls group that I was invited to speak at. She wanted to invite a young, vibrant female to talk to the girls and provide some inspiration and motivation, and she thought of me, and I am so humbled by that and so excited. So I'm gonna go. I have my lesson plan, but at the same time I knew I was gonna battle up against some major counter transference. Some things you should know about me is that my elementary school experience, you can watch the video where I go into a little more detail about that. Other than the countertransference that I knew was going to bubble up within me, I was excited to get into this elementary school. I consider it a part of self-care as well, because as I mentioned, typically I'm in the middle school, and sometimes you have to break out of your norm and expose yourself to other populations, particularly younger populations. If it's been a while since you stepped foot in an elementary school, I strongly suggest it. It's clean, it's bright, colorful, they're just beautiful. You get to see the little kids. There's so much potential in there. So now let me get into what I planned for my guest appearance at #GirlSquad. Isn't that the cutest? That's what they titled their group. And the theme of the group is leadership, how to get others to follow you. So I have my lesson planned out. We're gonna talk about virtues and how they are our internal jewels that we keep forever and how we have to polish them daily. It's gonna be a great lesson. I just need to go buy a few last minute supplies because I thought I had colorful permanent markers and I don't. Okay, I didn't find my lightless, flameless candles, but so I got a real candle. I'm trying to build hygge. If you don't know what hygge is, I want to make a video on that. The book of hygge, I've actually shared it on my Instagram page before. It's like the study of happiness. The Danish language has something called hygge. One of the best ways that the Danes create happiness is through candlelight. So candles is a good way to bring and channel positive energy to your room, your life, your groups. So when you start a group, you typically begin by reviewing the rules of the group. I stepped into one of their final meetings, so the rules had been established by the group, and so we just had to review. No rumors, no drama, no interrupting, and keep your hands to yourself. That simple. The students, the group members, come up with the rules themselves. So after we reviewed those things, I introduced myself and asked the group to fill me in on their previous lessons. They mentioned to me that they were working on using their voices. So I decided to start off with a very fun icebreaker. Let me tell you how this works. So you introduce the icebreaker as a typical game of rock, paper, scissors with a twist. For this group, since we're working on leadership and positive characteristics, I asked the group members to think of a positive characteristic that starts with the first letter of their name. So for example, I would be loyal Lauren. You can do this with favorite animals. You can do it however. So everyone pairs up. And what you do with your partner is you introduce yourself by your name. So I'd introduce myself. Hello, my name is Loyal Lauren. I challenge you to a game of rock, paper, scissors. What is your name? And you come up with the winner, best of 3, however they want to do it. That person now becomes my follower and my supporter and cheerleader. So we go and find another winner and challenge that winner to rock, paper, scissors. So what you have is two kind of teams meeting up with a supporter behind them. And the supporter's role is to chant loyal Lauren over and over. So what you get is an environment of lots of giggles and laughter. The winner is going to get 2 more followers to chant their name, and they find the next line of winners. And so you just have so many fun characteristic words being yelled out. It's a great way to start a group that's a little quieter, that doesn't know each other very well, to kind of get everyone in the energy of participating and speaking up, which segued perfectly into the book that I read next to the group. Now, I realized that the girls were 4th and 5th grade, but in my experience, children this age, and as they get older past 5th grade, there's little and little time that they get books read to them, especially picture books, and they truly appreciate it. And I highly recommend this book. I teared up. I had to read it. Of course, I read it beforehand, and I teared up reading it to myself.
The smallest girl in the smallest grade. She said, "I'm tired of seeing this terrible stuff. Stop hurting each other. This is enough."
Has an empowering message about speaking up and utilizing your voice, regardless of how small you are and how small you may sound. It resonated with me very much, and I can tell that some of the girls were really taking it in. From that point, we moved into highlighting positive virtues. The activity that I chose is called Virtue Jewels. This is what I'm going to be showing and reviewing with you. And I got the inspiration from this book. This is so cute. I highly recommend School of Awake. There is so much in here that you can take out and utilize with girls especially, but really with any child that you're trying to build their confidence, their coping skills. This is a great read. I took a small section of the last chapter called Virtue Jewels. For this activity, you do need a few things, but I like the book because everything that you need is very well priced, if not free. 6 pennies per student that I knew was in the group. I shined them up the night before, and then I grabbed some permanent markers. So what the girls are doing with each penny is creating a virtue jewel. So what I did was introduce the idea of virtues and what they are and defined that, and then we start going through the 6 virtues that I'm gonna give them to keep. So with their pennies, I introduced the first virtue, which is faith, and I asked them all to draw a sun however they wanted to look on their penny. As they're drawing, I'm discussing faith as a virtue. So faith is trusting in life and knowing that all is going to be well. And we did have some students asking questions, and then we move on to the next virtue, which was compassion. And they draw a heart on the next penny. So here you get the students engaged in an art activity, sharing markers and listening to the virtue of compassion and how the girl in the book was able to do that. And they draw those conclusions on their own. There's a lot of insight happening. This is continued on with the other virtues that I had lined up, which was gratitude, confidence, integrity, and humility. So we went through all of those. If you're interested in this activity, please let me know. I'm happy to share it with you. Something that I took from this activity was one of the students asked again what the star stood for, and the star stood for confidence, loving and believing in yourself. She said she was going to put her confidence jewel on her desk when she took the state assessment test, which in Texas, it's the STAR test. It was just perfect how she was able to connect that together. I was just doing somersaults in my head. That just made so much sense. These clients, no matter how young they are, they can connect these things. That's something I hadn't even thought of. And here she was connecting it. It was amazing.
The group went so well. It was a total of 11 4th and 5th grade girls. So I was a little intimidated. Oh my God, I was bullied severely in those very grades. Well, actually it was 4th grade into 5th grade. So it was like dealing with my own emotional stuff.
Funny thing about social work is that these issues within us, we do end up working them out. It's like the life lessons that you're meant to learn will come hitting you. So If you're planning on being a social worker, that's what graduate school is going to be all about. People ask me to share that experience, and I plan on making a video soon on my college experience and graduate school experience for those of you that are going through that. But it is a lot of soul searching, it is a lot of self-discovery, and it's important because you utilize yourself in your sessions more than you think, especially if you're going into a clinical practice, and you have to really work through those things so that you're not bringing it into a session. It's inevitable, we're human. I pat myself on the back because I didn't get triggered by the girl that was looking at me like with an attitude face. And yes, there is that girl, there is that person in every group.
I felt my bully in the group, but you just keep pushing through because you know that the most unlovable kids are the ones that need it the most. So, and that's something that I've learned throughout the years. So overall, it was a great group. They talked about asking me back next year to do the lesson again on virtues.
So I hope that this video helped you a little bit. If you have more questions about groups, then let me know in the comments below. I'm hoping to follow your social work journey, so please hashtag social work scrapbook anywhere you're at. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat now, and YouTube, of course. Thanks for watching today. Until next time, I'm wishing you social work success.